Muy bienvenidos otra vez a the fourth week of me wearing pajamas to work. I mean, distance learning. And this week, what we're going to do is we are going to. Well, first, let me start off by saying that we've been praying for you guys, hoping that you're well. Like I say every time that I make a video for y'all, I really hope that this has been time for you, not just only to like have time with your family, but also just to kind of rest and recuperate. I know it's a little bit easier, can seem more challenging to not be in front of a teacher, but I know it's easier to do work in the comfort of your own home. And so I'm hoping that you're able to do that while you're at home. I know that I've definitely been able to rest a little bit more. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to start off by really reviewing some basic concepts, because I think that it's a good time in the year to go back and review some things that we learned earlier in the year. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about infinitives first, and then we're going to talk about how to conjugate those infinitives. So this is something that we did like the very, very beginning, almost, like probably September or October of 2019. So let's just review this a little bit. I'm going to do it a lot more of it in Spanish than I did the first time, though. So I have the slideshow to go along with this, and then I'll also translate anything that's super complicated, I think. Okay, so here's some infinitives in English, right? When we talk about infinitives in English, we have a little bit of a different thing, right? They usually include the word to with them. So for example, to play, to give, to be, to flunk, meaning like to make an F on something, to try, to spell, to sigh. You kind of get the point, right? They all have the word to at the beginning of them. And so when we talk about infinitives in Spanish, this is how we're gonna translate these things, right? So here's an example. Well, let me get past this one first. In English, there's only one infinitive, right? Meaning there's only the word to in front of it, right? The word to is the infinitive. That's how we know that it's an infinitive. So in Español, hay tres infinitivos, right? There are three infinitives. There are AR, ER, and IR verbs. We know this. We've talked about this since the beginning of time. Hay tres infinitivos: AR, ER, and IR verbs. So, por ejemplo, for example, AR, if we wanted to conjugate, or I guess to say, if you wanted to know what kind of verb you're looking at, you're going to look at the last two letters of the verb, right? So, trabajar, bailar, comprar, mirar. All of those are AR verbs. ER verbs: comer, beber, tener, volver. IR verbs: vivir, abrir, escribir, asistir. AR verb is going to be your the group of verbs that have the most, right? So that's going to be the one that's got the most. It's called we when we talk about it a little bit later, we oftentimes call it the first conjugation, because it's the first group of verbs, right? So that's AR, ER, and IR verbs. Okay, la conjugación, conjugation. In English, we say to be, and then to conjugate that for ourselves, we have to say I am, you are, he, she is, we are, they are, you all are, right? And there's the subjects for you. So it's really, with the what should I say? With the exception of I am here, really it's mostly the same word. Are, I am, he, she is. And that's kind of the way that they work in English, right? We have mostly the same word that we're using multiple times. To play, the conjugation of to play in English: I play, you play, he, she plays, we play, you guys play, they play, right? We're using the same word multiple times, with the exception here of she and he. We put an S on that one. No son diferentes excepto plays. So they're not different except for plays. Okay, so let's look at los pronombres. That's the pronouns, right? We have in inglés el pronombre sujeto, the subject pronoun, es necesario porque el verbo no es diferente. The subject pronoun is necessary because we have to have a different verb that goes with each subject. So in Spanish, we have to play. La conjugación de play is jugar. I play, you play, She, he plays, we play, you guys play, they play. Those are our subject pronouns with the word play. That's singular on this side. Like I always say, singular is going to be on the left side, plural are going to be on the right side. Once again, have it listed again, singular versus plural. Okay, cantar. That's to sing, right? We have these lovely little illustrations. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the AR off and we're going to add a different letter for each subject depending on what the subject is. Let's do our base word here is cant. And then I sing, canto, right? We do not need the subject pronoun because it is included in the way that we conjugate the verb. Yo canto, I sing. We can also just say canto. Cantas, you sing. Canta, he or she sings. Cantamos, we sing. Y finalmente, cantan, they sing or you guys sing. En español, los pronombres no son necesarios porque los verbos son diferentes. So, just like I said before, the pronouns are not necessary because we know the verbs are different depending on the subject. Let's go to the next one here. Los pronombres. Yo, tú, él, ella, o usted. Nosotros, vosotros, y'all, which we don't really use, so that's why it's in blue. Ellos, ellas, y ustedes. We use ustedes in place of vosotros. So something to note here, tú is the informal, INF is informal way to say you. And then we have usted, which is the formal way to say you. Singular on one side, plural on the other side, just like always. Say, cantar. Drop the AR off. We're going to put the ending on for the subject, right? So yo always has an O. We need to remember that. We're going to put our, just like we always do in class, we're going to write down our base word here, cant, and then we're going to put the ending that we need for it. So yo canto, tú cantas, canta, cantamos, cantan. So this is what would be what our chart looks like if we did not use the subject pronouns. And here are the subject pronouns. Okay, next we have bailar. So we're going to write the conjugation down here. So we have yo for the first one. We know that yo always ends in O, so it's going to be bailo. Tú with AR verbs always ends in as, so bailas. Baila for he or she or a formal you. Bailamos. Nosotros is the longest pronoun, so we're going to use the longest ending, bailamos. Y finalmente bailan, they dance. Ellos bailan. Pelear. What do you think pelear means? These ducks están peleando. These ducks are fighting. Pelear is fight. Yo peleo. Tú peleas. Él, ella, usted pelea. Peleamos. Y ellos pelean. Right, once again, we're going to drop that AR there. We're going to add the ending depending on the subject. Trabajar. This lady está trabajando. She is working. Yo trabajo. Tú trabajas. Él trabaja. Nosotros trabajamos. Y ellos trabajan. What do these words mean? Right? Yo is I. Tú is you. Informal you. El, he. Nosotros is we. And ellos is they. ¿Qué significa? What do they mean? Okay, so we have los verbos que terminan en ER y IR. They're a little different. Son diferentes, ¿verdad? So comer aquí. We will have the same word, the same ending for yo, como. But in the tú, el, nosotros, and ellos, it's going to change just a little bit. So we're going to have yo. Comer is to eat, just like este perro está comiendo. Yo como. Tú comes with an E. Él come. Nosotros comemos. Y ellos comen. Right? These are all going to have an E in that second place. So the yo is going to stay the same. Yo always is O. Yo always O. And then everything else, we're going to add the E instead of an I in there. So we're going to drop the ending, and we're going to add the ending that's correct for this subject, right? So we're writing down our root word. Yo como, tú comes, él come, nosotros comemos, y ellos, ellas, ustedes comen. Okay, what about beber? Conjuguen el verbo beber. Let's conjugate the verb beber. It means to drink, right? So singular, we have yo bebo, tú bebes, ella bebe or él bebe, nosotros bebemos, y ellas beben. Vender, it means to sell, to sell. Yo vendo, tú vendes, ella vende, nosotros vendemos, ellas venden. Okay, we have IR verb here. So los verbos IR son diferentes también. Escribir, which means to write. She is writing. Ella escribe. So these are going to be very similar to ER, almost the same. We're going to have one difference though, and I think that some of you already know this. So for yo, we're going to always have O. Escribes, escribe, escriben for ellos, and then the one difference is nosotros, escribimos. We're going to use an I here instead of an E. So remember that the one difference is that we use an I in the nosotros form instead of an E for IR verbs. Vivir, let's look at this one. Yo vivo, tú vives, ella vive, nosotros vivimos, y ellas viven. Abrir, that means to open. She's opening the door there. Yo abro, or to open a book. Yo abro, tú abres, ella abre, nosotros abrimos, y ellas abren. Okay, so what we're going to do here is escribe el pronombre y la conjugación correcta. Escribe una frase completa. So we're going to write the pronoun and also the correct conjugation, and then we have to write a complete sentence. Okay, so Miguel y yo, our first one here, Miguel y yo, nadar en la piscina. So I can tell by the subject, Miguel y yo, I'm included, so I know that it has to be Miguel and I. Another way that we can say that in Spanish is nosotros. Okay, nadar en la piscina. This is a regular AR verb, so we're going to have nadamos en la piscina. We swim in the pool. Okay, tú y yo. Siempre llegar tarde. Siempre is always, so you always arrive late. Tú y yo. Tú y yo again. I have you and I. So we again. So nosotros. We're going to have nosotros, and then we're going to have this verb llegar, because we know this is a verb and ends in AR. So we're going to use llegamos. Nosotros siempre llegamos tarde. Okay, number 3, Alberto ayudar a la maestra. Alberto could be, in English we can say he, right? And that would be él. So él ayudar, we have an AR verb here as well, so we need to conjugate that AR verb for él. So our sentence would be Alberto, él ayuda a la maestra. He helps the teacher. Okay, tú echar la pelota. You would be tú. Tú, so we already have our pronoun here, so we can just leave it as it is. Echar la pelota is to throw the ball. So we're going to take off the AR and we're going to add an AS to this one to make it echas la pelota. Tú echas la pelota, you throw the ball. Los alumnos, the students, contestar las preguntas. The students answer the questions. So I could say the students, I could call them they, and our word for they in Spanish is ellos. And I know that since this is a regular AR verb, I'm just going to take the AR off and add back an AN. So los alumnos, ellos contestan las preguntas. Okay, finally we have yo regresar a mi pupitre. That is desk, which no one uses that word anymore, by the way. We say mesa. Yo regresar a mi pupitre. So yo, we already have that one. We can leave that the way it is. Yo always ends in O. Okay, so we're going to put an O on that. Yo regreso a mi pupitre. Okay, we're actually going to skip some of these because they're all AR verbs. I want to get to some ER. Here we go. So, Francisco y tú no leer el libro. Francisco and you do not read the book. So, Francisco and you, we could say y'all, right? We don't use vosotros, so we're going to use the other one, which is ustedes. We have an ER verb here, ER, and I know that for ER verbs that end for ER verbs, when I have ustedes in the subject, I'm going to add an EN to them. So this sentence would be, ustedes no leen el libro. Okay, number 12, usted asistir a la universidad. Asistir here means to attend. Usted is the formal you, so we already have that. We don't have to change that. So usted, I know that when I have an IR verb for usted, I'm going to put an E on it. So usted asiste a la universidad. If we have number 13 here, yo tratar de hablar japonés. Okay, so for this one we have two verbs, right? I'm going to use the first verb because if I have a day followed by a verb, that has to stay the same. So I'm actually just going to use the first verb here. So yo is my subject. It's already perfectly the way that I need it to be, so I'm going to leave it. Yo always ends in O, right? So yo trato de hablar japonés. I try to speak Japanese. Y finalmente tenemos el número 14. La señora Torre quitar muchos puntos por inglés. So this lady, La señora Torre, she takes off a lot of points for using English, all right? So I should, but I don't because I'm a good teacher. La señora Torre, that could be she in English. So she in English is going to be ella in Español. And it's a regular AR verb. I'm going to make this AR verb end in an A because I have one person in my subject. So la señora Torre is going to become ella. Quita muchos puntos por inglés. All right, you guys. So that is everything for today. Tomorrow we'll be getting into something a little bit different, not much different, but I just wanted to give you a good refresher on this before we kind of jump into that tomorrow. So you have some work to do today. As always, if you have questions, please let me know, and I will see you guys later. Love you lots.